Hi, everybody. Or should I say, hey, which is my intro. I am the most angry I have ever been in my life. In this moment, I am so livid that it's impossible to encapsulate in words how mad I am. And I will tell you why right now. So, for some reason, here's why. Here's why. Let me just go all the way back to about 3 weeks ago when I was at Ingles. Now, bit of backstory. I used to work at Ingles, and I'm talking about 208 Ingles, the one in Greer. Look into the camera. 208 Ingles is the store I used to work at. It's the one in Greer on Locust Hill Road. I believe it's 1291 Locust Hill Road. Anyway, if you've ever been there, you know it's a decent place. I used to shop. I used to work there for over a year. Place was a disaster when I worked there most of the time. Some days were okay. Some days it was all right. But oftentimes the place was a disaster. You know why? This is all backstory. Believe me, I'll get to the point in a minute as to why I'm angry. It's because the owner of the store was. There's a number of ways to put this. I'm just going to pick the simplest way to say it. The owner of, or the manager, rather, of the store was gay. Yes. Need I say more? Need I say more? So as you can imagine, yeah, that now it makes perfect sense. And once I learned that, I thought, oh, now everything makes sense. Literally, like I felt like, oh, now I understand the entire universe. Now that this secret has been divulged to me. No, but I realized, oh, this entire store makes perfect sense now, as far as the way that it operates, and how it's structured. And it was funny when my coworker told me that. My buddy Sean, who I'm probably going to talk to at some point, might have him on the channel. That would be good. He told me that, and I remember the day, and I laughed because I thought he was joking, and I genuinely did. I was like, yeah. He was like, yeah, he's gay, and I was like, I just laughed, and he was like, no, he really is, and I said, wait, really? And he's like, yeah. I'm like, oh. And then I think I literally said, I was like, well, that actually explains a lot, and or I said something to that effect, but yeah, and so as you can imagine. I mean, again, shopping there was all right, but if you shopped there enough, you could hear on the intercom the store manager, he would get on the intercom, and all he would do, this is all he would do, 99+% of the time, he would just tell people what to do. He was not a manager. He was technically in the position of a manager, but he was not an actual manager, and if he was definitely not a good one. He would get on the intercom, and he would tell people to, go to this department, do this, so and so, do this. And the dude would never or virtually never actually work and actually help out and actually try to think about things, naturally, I don't think I've ever met a gay person who's good at critical thinking. I met a lesbian not too long ago. But I haven't met a whole lot of gay people, I must admit, but I've seen a fair number of them on the internet. A decently large number of them on the internet. I mean, maybe a couple of them or a very, very small percentage of them are decent at critical thinking. But anyway, so you can imagine, yeah, he was not good at thinking, not good at running the store, and was overall just a very shallow person. And if you ask anyone who worked there, except for that one girl who worked in bakery who I used to be friends with, who was 16 and naive and dumb, anyone else you ask who, had a clue and could actually see through his BS would tell you, yes, he's not a good person. He's shallow, didn't give a crap about his employees, and was just not a nice guy. He really wasn't. I mean, one time he told me, I had only been working there for a little while. I didn't really know what I was doing, but he had told me to help with the grocery truck, and I did. I started helping, but there was one particularly heavy pallet, and so I helped with that, and I wasn't sure if I was good after that, so I asked him. I said something like, am I able to go back to what I was doing or something? And he was like, I want you to do what I told you. And it's like, he was not nice about it. It's like, okay, jerk. And one time my coworker and him got into it a bit, which my coworker's, well, at the time was this big black guy. So boy, he could have, yeah. Would not want to make him angry, that's for sure. But he was most of the time a gentle giant. But he definitely had that edge to him to where, yeah, I don't want to make him mad. Like, he's a nice guy, but, you know. Anyway, and so, yeah, the store was kind of a disaster. Thankfully, thank God, he's no longer the manager there. No, I don't work there anymore. I left. He left that store a while after I left, due to the produce manager. I worked in produce, and the produce manager was kind of similar to the store manager in that he just was not a good manager, sucked at communicating, sucked at thinking, and well, he's also addicted to tobacco, so there's that too. I actually saw him not too long ago when I was at Ingles, and yeah, funny enough, it's funny because well, he's certainly not a man. I'll tell you that much. I'm not saying I'm a man and who's more manly. I'm not saying, not about to say that. But this dude was not a masculine guy, the produce manager, or well, obviously, or the store manager. I mean, given that he was married to a man. So yeah, that's why I ended up leaving the store because the produce manager was just not good, to put it politely, and simply. Now, where am I going with all this? Well, that's why I left. But here's the thing: when I worked at Ingles, very frequently for lunch, when I was on my lunch break, I would purchase a sub from the deli, and they made really good subs. Their subs are really good. But the thing is, one of the ingredients that I would always or almost always add when I would get a sub, which I would get it sometimes it'd be like every other day or at least once a week. Usually, pretty much every week I would grab a sub. I worked full time the whole time I worked at Ingles, so 5 days a week, pretty much every week, and I loved getting their subs. They were fresh, they tasted good. They were, as far as I know, pretty healthy at least, and so I loved getting a sub. And one of the ingredients that I loved to add was cucumbers. Fresh, thinly sliced, green cucumbers. I mean, they're not like super thinly sliced, but they were thinly sliced. And it was great. I enjoyed it. And then after I eventually left Ingles, I would, I've gone back there a number of times since I've left for various reasons, usually to buy food or sometimes just to kind of see if any of my coworkers are working there and I don't know, start a conversation or whatever, but usually just to buy something. It's a good place to, they have a lot of stuff to buy. It's a good place to shop. But I would go, several times that I've gone back to Ingles after I left, I would get a sub and I would do the same thing. I would add cucumbers, which may be my favorite ingredient to add to a sub. And the thing is, about 3 weeks ago, I went to Ingles and I was hungry. There's a couple of things I wanted to buy. I forget what I wanted to buy. I think I wanted to buy orange juice, I think. And I was already driving back because I had gone to, I can't remember actually. I think I had to go to Dollar Tree, and then it's right in that area. So, yeah, I think I went to Dollar Tree. Oh, a Target. No, I went to Target. That's right. I went to Target. I got Tapple and some other stuff. Anyway, but yeah, I went to Ingles on the way back, and I was like, man, I'm hungry. So I thought, I'm gonna go get me a sub. I'm gonna get a sub. I got good subs, and I got there, and I thought, okay, do I want a 6-inch sub or a foot long? I was like, yeah, get a 6-inch. I'm not really hungry enough to eat a foot long. I get up there, order an Italian 6-inch sub, wheat bread, and then she asks the lady, who's quite a nice person, asks, the person who's making the sub. This lady asks, that was a lot of words for, okay. What else would you like? And I looked down where the cucumbers should be, the sliced cucumbers that I was talking about that I love to get in my sub. I looked to at the place that they should be. And guess what I saw? Not cucumbers. I think it was cheese in its place. I forget exactly, but there were no cucumbers. And then I looked, in the surrounding area, and I realized there are no cucumbers. Where did they go? And I thought two things. One, Well, perhaps they keep cucumbers like down in some place that's out of sight. And then two, I thought I'm either hallucinating. Well, either that or I'm hallucinating. Someone dosed me, Dr. House style. Someone slipped something in my drink earlier today, which I didn't have coffee, or I think I just had water, so they must have put a drug in water, which would be weird. But someone must have dosed me. Either I'm literally on drugs right now and somehow I don't know it, I don't feel it, or the cucumbers are somewhere else. The sliced cucumbers are out of sight, somewhere that I can't see. Because I looked around, I was like, where are they? So I asked the lady, I said, ma'am, where are your cucumbers? Do you not have any cucumbers? And she said something, I forget exactly, but she said essentially, she said essentially, yeah, I don't know. I think for some reason they stopped making them, or they stopped. I don't know. I don't know what she said, but basically, for some reason we don't have them anymore. And I said, I just sat there, staring at where the cucumbers should be, where I remember them being. I don't know, 75 other times that I got a sub. I just stared there. I just stared in silence for probably, I don't know, felt like 3 minutes. I don't know how long it was. Eventually she said, sir, I think by the third time she said it, I snapped out of my trance. And, this is serious. And she, and I said, oh, well, that's okay. I said that's okay. But what I was thinking is, my entire world has been shattered. The one thing that always adds light to my day is getting cucumbers on my sub when I'm at Ingles, which I don't go there very often because I used to work there, and I don't know. I mean, I'm at peace with the place now, I guess you could say, but I go there every now and then, and guys, this. Okay, so the third thing I thought after I got my sub, as I was eating my sub, extremely disappointed extremely disappointed about the fact that there weren't cucumbers on my sub. I thought to myself, "Hey, Bill." That's not what I thought to myself. But I thought to myself, oh my goodness, am I going to have to reapply to this store? I mean, is that what it's going to take? Because somebody's got to right this wrong. Somebody's got to say something about this. This cannot stand. This is such a morally wrong crime. This is wrong on so many levels. I'm talking morally, I'm talking spiritually, I'm talking physically, I'm talking conceptually, I'm talking, what's another Ali word? This is wrong in so many ways, y'all. And I realized, when I left Ingles, did I say this earlier? I don't know. I left a note. Now, I could have written it better, but I did put a lot of thought into it before I left the final notes. I did not put in my 2 weeks because they didn't give a crap about me. So why would I give a crap about? Anyway, in hindsight, perhaps I should have, but I could have gone about it differently, probably in a better way. Hey, you live and you learn. But yeah, I left a note, and on that note, I said I'm never coming back to this store as a worker ever again. So I thought about that as I was eating my sub, and I was on the verge of tears as I was like just about to. I mean, here's the thing: when she said that, no, that for some reason that we don't have cucumbers anymore, I almost broke down. I almost became a toddler whose mom just told him, "No, you can't have any more goldfish." I almost became that. And I almost just started just crying a river And now the store was pretty busy, so a lot of people would have seen me. And also, like, I do not cry in public. I can't think of the last time I cried in public. I don't think I ever have. But yeah, so I mean, I was so close though. I just about did. I don't know how I held it together. I really don't. I mean, I got to give it to myself. I really had showed some strength there by not just breaking down in tears. And so, you know, that's the thing. I held back those tears, and then as I was eating my sandwich, I kept fighting the tears. I said, "No, Brent, you are stronger than this. Yes, this is the worst thing that's ever happened in the history of humanity. Yes, your entire world has been shattered, but you're gonna make it, and you have to keep it together because there's people around." And so I did not cry while I was eating my sandwich, but I almost did. In fact, okay, I kind of lied. Technically, one tear did stream down my face. One tear escaped the crevice of my tear duct in my eye, and it took everything. It took every last strength, every last ounce of might to let that be to keep all the other tears from in, to keep them all in. And I just was, the whole time I was just thinking, I'm going to have to do it. I'm going to have to break my own promise. I'm going to have to reapply. To Ingles. Hopefully they'll take me. They better. I don't know. I might have to resort to bribery if they say, no, sorry, we won't hire you again. Like, I don't know. I mean, that's what I was thinking the entire time. I was like, there's no, like, this is absolutely, first of all, unheard of. To, like, who the heck made that decision? I'm going to find out. Second of all, it is absolutely, I mean, I would almost say it's corrupt to make that kind of decision. Because what are they trying to do? They're trying to trick people. Like, they're trying to make it so that if you want cucumbers on your sub, you got to go buy cucumbers. You got to go into the produce section and buy a cucumber and then chop it yourself. And they're just trying to sell more stuff. That is so not deceptive. It's so manipulative. I can't believe Ingles. I can't believe they had the gall to make that decision. Whoever made it. I mean, whoever made it was working for Ingles, so, you know. And I just can't believe. I still can't believe it. And I just think I'm going to have to quit my other job at Romeo's Pizza and work at Ingles. I mean, at first I would make sure that Ingles will take me back. Take me back. It's not like I was a bad worker. I was probably one of the best workers there. Well, okay, no, I wouldn't say that, but well, maybe actually, if we're thinking objectively. But I mean, if you ask the people there, they'll tell you, yeah, I was a good worker. I was a fine worker. That's what I would say. I was a fine worker. I'm not gonna say I was great, but I mean, I worked hard. You know, I really tried. That's for sure. I was not like sitting there on my phone all the time. Like, you know, I mean, sometimes, like, well, obviously if I was on break or whatever, or if we were just really slow and there was like basically nothing to do. But yeah. So, and obviously I made mistakes, and I think I've learned from those. But anyway, so yeah, I can't believe it. I'm gonna have to reapply to Ingles. I never thought I mean, again, I said that in the notes, but I'm going to have to break my own promise. Because no one else, chances are no one else is going to do anything about it. They're just going to be like, oh, that sucks. Too bad. But guys, I care so much about this that I'm willing to break my own promise, to go against something that I said, just to right this wrong. And to talk to I got some words to say to whoever made that decision, or the group of people that made that decision. I will give them an earful. I'll pursue legal action if it's necessary. You hear me, Ingles? You hear me? Whoever's the manager I know you're a lot better than the previous manager, so thank you. But whoever's the manager now at 208 Ingles, do you hear me right now? If I have to, I will pursue legal action. That's not a threat. It's a promise. So, I advise that you return the option, or you make it possible for people to add cucumbers again to their sub. Okay? Or else. Or else. Or else. I'm coming after you.